So today I'm going to be addressing or answering a lot of questions that troubles aspirants immediately they are done with their JAMB and are preparing for post JAMB. So if you're an aspirant just routine your JAMB, you are preparing your post JAMB, or you are yet to write JAMB, or you are preparing for JAMB next year, this video is for you. And if you have any aspirant, please send it to them. I don't want them to make the same mistakes that they have been making in the past, or the same mistake that I made in the past. Now, when I wrote my first JAMB, I got 200 at the dot, and then that year I was applying for medicine and surgery. I applied to your ever-loving Delta State University as Abraka, and I got chemistry education. Now, let's dive in. Now, yesterday morning, an aspirant sent me a message and was like, Dr. Bez, I scored 200 in the just concluded UTME exams, and I applied for pharmacy in University of Benin. Am I going to get pharmacy with this JAMB score? And I actually told the guy that you can, but it's going to be very difficult. You have a very low chance of getting pharmacy. I told him because you'll be needing a JAMB score, a post UTME score of not less than 80 to meet up with the aggregate of pharmacy in Uniben. And he was trying to force me to tell him that he stands a big chance. But I stood on my ground, told him, bro, it's gonna be like the head of a camel passing through the mouth of a needle. Now, this is why I'm making this video, to educate you there, parents there as well, who are going to see the video, so that I want to advise your child on what to do. Now, there's what we call your JAMB score, your post UTME score, and your aggregate score. Now, your JAMB score is the score that you get from your after writing JAMB exam. That's your UTME exam. Your post UTME score is the score that you get after writing a school screening exam. Some call it screening test, some call it post UTME, or for nursing it is called nursing entrance exam for those that are going for colleges of nursing. Now, what the aggregate score is the sum of your UTME score divided by 8 and your post UTME score divided by 2. So which means that what counts more is your UTME post UTME score compared to your JAMB score. Now, let's say for example you wrote UTME exams and your JAMB score is 200, and the school you are applying for, the aggregate cutoff is 70. Follow me. If you divide 200 by 8, you are going to get 25. 70 minus 25 is 45, right? Which means you need to score 90 to be able to meet up with that aggregate score. This is where the problem comes in. Now, you that scored 200 in JAMB, in UTME exam, it will not be so easy for you to score 90 in post UTME exam. It will not be so easy. Trust me, it will not be so easy. So the first thing is to know the aggregate score. So now, this is what you do. Number one thing is ask questions of the course you apply for in the particular university that you apply for, the aggregate cutoff of that particular score. Now, what's the aggregate cutoff? The aggregate cutoff is the minimum score that they consider as the merit to gain admission to study that particular course. Now, if the minimum score for a particular course is 70, it means that everyone that scores 70 and above stands a very high chance or should be considered for admission. After they have admitted everyone that scores 70 and above, before they can consider those that score below 70. So now, the first thing you do is to ask for the aggregate cutoff of that particular score, the last aggregate cutoff, because it's not something that is there every day. Sometimes it changes. The last aggregate cutoff for that particular score, for that particular course you are applying for in that school, and divide your JAMB score by 8. Then know what you should score to meet up to the aggregate cutoff. Don't do blind faith and just apply for a school and write exam. You don't know the aggregate cutoff. You end up wasting your JAMB score and you end up wasting your whole 1 year of preparation. So you have to be smart, and if you know you cannot do this by yourself, feel free to reach out to me. I'm open so long you're a student. Now, let's proceed further. Now, after doing this, the next thing you should do is to assess all the universities that you consider as universities that you can go to. You can consider For example, you apply for a federal university, you can consider for state universities that you love or private university that you like if you have the money, and also check for the aggregate cutoff. Now, the one that has the most achievable aggregate cutoff for you, I will advise you do a change of institution to that particular school. Now, what do I mean? Assuming you are applying for, let's say, pharmacy, and you are applying for, let's say, for example, Uniben, of as a case of study, and the aggregate cutoff for pharmacy Uniben is 70 and your JAMB score is 200. Now you have another school that aggregate cutoff for pharmacy in that school is 60, which means that in Uniben you need to score up to 84 or even above for you to be able to meet up with 70. But in that school, if you can score up to 70, when you divide 70 by 2, 35 plus 25, 60, you have already meet up with the aggregate. So it is better you go for that school that has a less aggregate cutoff compared to Uniben, instead of sitting at home and wasting your JAMB score. So after assessing your institution of choice, assess other institutions and choose the most achievable one. Don't do things blindly. Don't just do things anyhow. I've seen people with JAMB score of 314 not gain admission to study biochemistry in Uniben. I've seen someone else with a JAMB score of 250 get admission to study medicine in another school. At the end of the day, the one with JAMB score of 250 becomes a medical doctor. The other one becomes a biochemist after studying a lot of pathways that may not lead to success. So you have to be smart in choosing your course of study. Now, back to the third thing that you should consider doing. If circumstances demand that you must study in a particular school, probably you don't have control over yourself, and you feel like you don't want to write JAMB again, you want to try your luck, instead of going for something unachievable, having a blind faith, probably after calculating, you know your capability. Now, you that score 200 in JAMB, it is likely going to be difficult for you to get up to 19 POST JAMB. If your course demands are going to score up to 19 POST JAMB, I will advise, if you have any other course, you have a second choice that you like, that has a less aggregate cut-off demand for you to meet up, you should change course to that particular one instead of doing a blind faith. Because at the end of the day, by the time the school, especially Uniben, changes your course for you and choose to give you admission, you will not like where they will land you. So it is better you by yourself go for your own choice and choose another course than having a blind faith in yourself. So the first thing that you should do is, after seeing your JAMB score, assess the institution you have, assess your chance of gaining admission to that institution, your chance of meeting up to that institution cutoff, assess other institutions, and assess other courses. These are the three things. After assessing them, you will have the right decision to make, or you might better still choose to wait next year and prepare for another JAMB, giving it your best rather than doing things that looks unachievable. I hope this video has been helpful. In my next video, I will be talking about the best institutions for different courses, so that you know that, okay, I want the best for myself, let me go to this institution. Most of you that think, okay, where's the best place that you think I should study pharmacy, where's the best place that you think I should study law? I'm going to address these things one after the other. It's Dr. Best, don't go anywhere. And also, I'll be making videos regarding POST JAMB, different schools, POST JAMB and nursing schools, how everything about that school, how the nature of the POST JAMB exam, how to prepare for the POST JAMB, the kind of materials that you should use, the kind of past question you'll be using. I'll be addressing a lot of schools. I'll be talking about the schools like DESU, UBTA School of Nursing, Uniben, Unilorin, Uniosun, UI, Unilag, Uniport, a whole lot of schools, and you don't want to miss this. If you want to follow up with this, my POST JAMB, more of my educational videos, make sure you follow Exclusive Tutorials and make sure you follow my main handle, Dr. Best, on all social media platforms. And don't forget, if you're writing POST JAMB or any school of nursing, Exclusive Tutorials, POST JAMB and nursing classes is currently on. Make sure you join us. I remain your favorite pharmacist in training and your #1 educationist, Dr. Best. Love you. See you in my next video.